My name is Miranda, and this is my Read Aloud presentation. I'm going to be reading The Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood. Retold by Gabby Goldsack. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived with her mommy in a cottage on the edge of a big forest. Whenever the little girl went outside to play, she wore a beautiful red cloak that her grandma had made for her. It had a big red hood, so everyone called the little girl the Little Red Riding Hood. So who was it that bought the little cloak, or made the little cloak for Little Red Riding Hood? That's right, it was her grandmother. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mommy asked her to take a basket of food to her grandma. Grandma isn't feeling well, Mommy explained, and I'm sure she'd love to see you. Grandma lived on the other side of the forest, so Mommy drew a map on a piece of paper so that Little Red Riding Hood wouldn't get lost. And remember, don't talk to any strangers along the way, said Mommy, helping Little Red Riding Hood into her cloak. Little Red Riding Hood took the basket of food and skipped into the forest. On the way, Little Red Riding Hood saw some beautiful blue flowers. Grandma might like these, she thought, and she bent down to pick up the handful of flowers. She didn't realize someone was in the forest. "Hello, little girl," said a deep, growly voice. Little Red Riding Hood jumped with fright. Okay, so somebody is talking to Little Red Riding Hood. Can anybody remember what her mom said for her not to do? That's right, she said for her not to talk to strangers. Let's see what she's going to do. A big wolf peered from behind one of the trees. "Oh, hello," replied Little Red Riding Hood, smiling back at the wolf. She had already forgotten her mommy's warning. "Where are you going?" growled the wolf. "I'm visiting my sick grandma, who lives on the other side of the forest," Little Red Riding Hood explained. "Ah, what a kind girl you are," smiled the wolf, showing off his sharp teeth. Just then, the wolf's tummy gave a loud, rumbly grumble. "What was that?" asked Little Red Riding Hood. "Just some thunder over the hills," said the sneaky, hungry wolf as he ran away as fast as he could to Grandma's cottage. Why do you guys think that the wolf is going to run to Grandma's cottage and try to beat Little Red Riding Hood there? Let's find out. The hungry wolf peered through Grandma's window, and he saw the old lady in bed. With a loud howl, the wolf dashed into the cottage and gobbled up Grandma into one large gulp. Then the wolf put on Grandma's spare nightcap and glasses, clambered in her bed, and pulled up the quilt to his chin. Now all he had to do was wait for Little Red Riding Hood to arrive. When Little Red Riding Hood reached the cottage, she was surprised to find the door wide open. "Grandma?" she yelled. "Are you there?" "I'm in the bedroom," replied the wolf in a strange, wobbly voice. Little Red Riding Hood went into the bedroom and gasped when she saw her grandma. She looked sort of different. "Grandma must be very sick," thought Little Red Riding Hood. "I hope it isn't catching." "What big eyes you have, Grandma," she said as she went over to the bed. "All the better for seeing you with," the wolf replied in the same wobbly voice. "Grandma, what big ears you have," Little Red Riding Hood added, moving closer. "All the better for hearing you with," said the wolf in a toothy grin. What big teeth you have, Grandma," stuttered Little Red Riding Hood. "All the better for eating you with." Little Red Riding Hood screamed and tried to run away, but the hungry wolf was just too fast. He leaped out of the bed and gobbled her up in one single gulp. So what do you think would have been different if the Little Red Riding Hood would have listened to her mother? None of this would have happened, right? A passing woodcutter heard Little Red Riding Hood scream and ran into the cottage. When he saw the wolf's enormous belly, he guessed just what had happened. He picked up the wolf and shook him so hard, Little Red Riding Hood and Grandma flew out of the wolf's mouth. Luckily, they weren't hurt, but they were very cross. Grandma, Little Red Riding Hood, and the woodcutter chased the wolf into the forest and over the hill. The embarrassed wolf never came back. Little Red Riding Hood never spoke to strangers again. The end. So, how did the woodcutter save Little Red Riding Hood and Grandma? Yes, he shook the wolf as much as he could until Little Red Riding Hood and Grandma come right out. So now that we're done with the book, I want you guys to sketch what your face would look like if you were Little Red Riding Hood and saw a wolf in your grandma's bed. And that's it.